For more, we're joined by a man who was a senior advisor to former Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. Giuliano Da Empoli heads the Volta think tank. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Some grim news that's out in just the past few minutes. The single-day death toll for Italy's hit a record 250 new deaths over there. Your reaction to the report we just saw and the accusations that have been formulated, we'll talk about them perhaps more, that maybe here in France we didn't take what was going on in Italy seriously enough.
Well, I don't think it's just France, frankly. I think the rest of Europe had somehow the big advantage of having the example in front of its eyes for now a few days. And what's been clear in the Italian case is the swiftness, how fast this virus hits the country, how fast it can overload a pretty advanced medical system like the northern Italian healthcare system. And really in Italy it was a matter of a few days. I mean, we went from going to the theaters and into cinemas to not even being able to have a walk under your house. I mean, today parks in Rome are closed, for example. I mean, it's not even just restaurants and public places. So I think the rest of Europe saw that, and somehow, I mean, then reactions have been different in different countries, but I'm not sure that this was taken seriously enough. I think there was a lot of like.
So, all right, here in France, should the schools have been shut earlier, for instance?
It's not for me to say, but
should they be staging municipal elections this coming Sunday?
Well, that sure sounds more like a political decision than something that is inspired to healthcare to healthcare considerations at this point. Again, it's not for me to say, but what I've seen in the Italian case is that everything came a little bit too late, and from locking down the schools to shutting down the whole country, there were only like 5 days' time. And so basically, I think the lesson of the Italian case is the swifter and the stronger and the most decisive, I mean, the more decisive you are in the initial action, the better.
We saw on Thursday Matteo Renzi on CNN blasting Europe for not doing enough to come in support of Italy. Again,
I mean, personally, I was more shocked. I mean, we know how Europe works. We've seen it with the migrant crisis. I think it would have been naive to expect an immediate movement of solidarity from the rest of Europe, especially when other European countries feel threatened as well. Of course, a symbolic gesture could have been at least immediately put into place. The Chinese sent a plane with help to Italy. That was just symbolic, you know. It's not, I mean, how much can it cost to send doctors and masks and everything? But the symbol was huge.
Yeah, because the French and the Germans decided to stockpile their face masks and not send them to Italy.
Exactly. So, I mean, basically...
Do you understand that decision or do you denounce it?
Again, I mean, I understand a certain caution, a certain fear, but I mean, what's shocking is, again, the way each European country in a moment of need and in a moment of emergency goes its own way and makes even contradictory decisions. I mean, you know, somebody will make a unilateral decision that might...
Such as...
Well, I mean, closing borders in some places and not in some others. Of course, the UK is now outside of the European Commission, but it's still, I mean, of the European Union, but it's still part of Europe. It has a completely different strategy when it comes to handling the virus. Basically, they say we won't do anything, we won't do much, and we expect this to the immunity to somehow develop in the British people, and that's the opposite of what's being done across the channel in Belgium, with almost Italian complete lockdown, and then you have Germany closing some schools and not some others, and Miss Merkel saying, well, about 60-70% of the population might get infected. And imagine maybe the German healthcare system can handle that. I doubt it, frankly, but let's imagine that the German healthcare system can handle that. But what about the neighboring countries' healthcare systems that are less performing? They wouldn't be able to handle something like that. So, I mean, once more, you haven't seen a united front on the European side.